What's going on there, guys? We back with another one. Tonight we got to talk about Malika Andrews, and she's going viral for what they're saying is trying to ruin Brandon Miller's biggest night of his life, bringing up the case and everything that happened at Alabama. He already had to face questions with teams about his character for most of the year, and he worked his way to number 2. Now, as always, rest in peace to the young lady. She did not deserve to pass anything like that. But his involvement in it, you see when he speaks to teams, he says he can't say but so much. Now, Malika's been under scrutiny for these type of things before. The Ime Udoka incident. You also had the incident with Adrian Payne where he passed from a gunshot wound, and had the Ja Morant thing at the NBA draft lottery where it was supposed to just be about the teams and what they're going to be getting, where they're going to place in the draft lottery. But we're going to take a look at 3 of those incidents. But first, we're going to look at the one from tonight.
Miller, his name did surface in court testimony involving a case where his former teammate and another man, they've been indicted for capital murder in the fatal shooting of 23-year-old Jamia Harris in January. The University of Alabama has described Miller as a cooperating witness. How is this factoring, if at all?
Shifting gears, former Michigan State star Adrian Payne was shot and killed in Orlando, Florida, early Monday morning, the Orange County Sheriff's Office said. And Payne was the 15th pick by the Atlanta Hawks in 2014. Played 4 seasons in the NBA with multiple teams. In 2018, he was waived by the Magic after he was named in a report by ESPN's Outside the Lines that he'd been involved in an alleged sexual assault at Michigan State in 2010. No charges were filed in that case. Prior to playing in the NBA, Payne was a member of the All Big Ten second team in 2 of his 4 seasons with Michigan State.
Because this is the second time in about 2 months that Ja Morant, the star of the Memphis Grizzlies, has been seen on social media brandishing a firearm. And before he was reinstated after his suspension last time, he flew to New York, he sat down, he met with you. What did you say to him about how much more severe it would be if he did this again?
Well, we talked directly about the consequences first before we got to a subsequent potential to have done something wrong. We were very focused on the misconduct that was in front of us at the time. And frankly, most of our conversation was about how incredibly serious the first incident was of waving, a firearm on social media. And again, and the consequences there, an 8-game suspension was pretty serious and something that he, at least to me, seemed to take incredibly seriously in that time. And we spoke for a long time about not just the consequences that could have on his career, but the safety issues around it. Could have injured, maimed, killed himself, someone else with an act like that. And also the acknowledgement that, as you said, he's a star. I mean, he has an incredibly huge following. Yeah. And that my concern, and I thought he shared with me, that millions, if not tens of millions of kids globally would see him as having done something that was celebrating in a way. That act of using a firearm in that fashion. And so I at least was left with the sense that he was taking this incredibly seriously. So honestly, I was shocked when I saw this weekend that video. Now, we're in the process of investigating it, and we'll figure out exactly what happened to the best we can then. It's the video's a bit grainy and all that, but I'm assuming the worst, but we'll figure out, exactly what happened there.
So the argument that people continue to have against Malika Andrews is like time and place, and what does it have to do with what's going on tonight? Brandon Miller coming into the draft, these teams are asking these same questions behind closed doors. Only thing we could do as the media is speculate about what took place. Law enforcement is doing their job. And Brandon Miller said, he can't say but so much because the case is going on. Anyway, when you look at it from that standpoint, it's like, why does Malika throw these things out there? the John Morant thing was a little crazy, but you could see, like, he was already in the league and he was a repeat offender, and it was like an elephant in the room around the league. So that question wasn't so off base. I just wanted to add that in there. But the Adrian Payne thing after the man passed, and then this thing tonight with Brandon Miller, man, is something crazy. And I think it's why a lot of people have the feelings they have towards her. Do y'all feel like it's her job as a journalist to ask these questions no matter what? Because I know there's a sector of people out there that wants to know, like, different things about Brandon Miller. Like, as far as the way teams are looking at him, evaluating him, he's been a top 3 prospect for a few months. That's where they've had him. Now, it was a time when the incident first came out, they said that his stock was going to plummet. Like, it was going to go all the way down, and, you know, he might not even get drafted and all that at first. But when they said it was nothing they could actually charge him with, that helped him. And so he continued to build himself back up, go out there, perform. And by the end of the season, it was like, is he better than Scoot? That was the only conversation that they were having. And Scoot was the consensus number 2 pick. That's why him and Wembanyama played those exhibitions last year. They wanted to showcase the future of the NBA, so to speak. And Brandon Miller used his freshman season to creep in there. Now, yeah, it's a little tumult there, and the magnitude of someone losing their lives is something that you can't sneeze at. But at the same time, people feel like, Malika, you do this to men a lot, and more specifically, men of color. That's how they feel. So, yeah, again, I just want to ask y'all, is Malika just simply doing her job? Or is she way, way, way off base for trying to get these men caught up and trying to keep these reports fresh so the media can play with his name a little more? Because you know so many people going to grab this and go and talk about it. So is she trying to keep slinging mud on these guys' names, y'all feel like? Or do you just feel like she's doing a job? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.